This is the second episode of my interview with Vedic Meditation teacher, Dr Anna Young Ferris. If you haven't listened to part 1 yet, head back to last week's episode. There's a lot in it, particularly about the benefits of meditation in general and Vedic meditation for busy women. And now, let's get on with the episode. Hi, I'm Sue Lindsay, and this is the Well Woman podcast. I've worked with countless women and teenage girls over the years as a natural women's health clinician, and I know how hard it can be to get the help you need to overcome hormonal imbalance, infertility, perimenopausal symptoms, and more. In this podcast, I bring together the best of East and West, my knowledge in natural medicine and nutrition, together with insights from experts in the field of women's wellness. I'm your trusted guide as you navigate your hormone healing journey, giving you support and guidance along the way. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. It's time to nourish you with Well Woman.
Everybody just wants peace, and the peace comes from the mind. Everything emanates from the mind. Yes, there's the physiology, there's the body, but healthy mind, healthy body.
And, as a mother, I certainly think, and I think you would relate to this too, that these practices are helping us to lead by example and teaching our children and future generations. This is how we can be, and we can have this beauty and this bliss, and we can still be in the world.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, no matter how old your children are, everybody, this is a beautiful practice for all parents, all women, all men as well. I want to be inclusive there.
Yeah,
although
absolutely.
I think most of the listeners are women, but
yeah, I teach men as well, and actually, more recently, I've been teaching more children. So I think that that's a symptom again of this culture that we're in, and that the demands and the pressures, social media, and all of these kind of things that we didn't have when we grew up. So it's kind of, we keep just layering in the complexity, and it's moving us further and further away from the being, and that being, that being connected with, I call it, the connection to the divine. I think that's really, we don't have that in our culture anymore. It's kind of completely lost.
Tell me more about this. So the divine, what's your conceptualization of the divine?
Yeah, no, beautiful. And this is what I guess I love about this practice is it's about direct experience. And everybody's experience of this divine connection will be their own personal one. When you're sitting down to meditate and you have the mantra has come from the divine, or has come from nature, the universe. We love in the West to put concepts, and put definitions and diagnose things, but sometimes it's beyond words and concepts, these experiences that you have. And so it's really just coming into the heart space, and it's within us all, this place of stillness or bliss, which is the divine within. And so that's something I've really been growing into this over my own personal kind of journey in the last few years. The practice has definitely led me here, and now I'm really realizing from all of my work, the work I do with my meditation students, or the work I do at university, or with my corporate clients, it's actually what is missing is this connection. And so we keep looking outside of ourselves for this joy or this happiness or this peace. I'll be happy when I go on the holiday, or when I get the new job, or when my child behaves, or, if you're in business, when I win that client, or when that project's finished. So we're always placing our happiness, our bliss in the future. Or we're spending a whole lot of time, ruminating on the past and what I said or what I didn't say or what I should have done. And so when we're having that kind of stress about the future, that's kind of the anxiety, right? And then when we're having kind of doubts or questioning the past, that's really the depression state.
Yes.
So we're not in the present, we're not in the being. Coming back to this, the divine, the direct experience you have, and that's the bliss you talked about being, the bliss addict. It's because you're having that beautiful connection with your higher self, which is the divine. this practice is just so beautiful. And there's other practices and ways and techniques, but I find this one the absolute gold standard for realizing that that bliss is right there within you, that divine is there within you, and you just need to sit and meditate twice per day to start opening up those channels. And then watch the benefits unfold in your, what we sort of call the material world or the relative world. You know, things like I love just the pausing, you know, so when you're trying to make a decision or your child or your colleague is pestering you about something, instead of kind of reacting in probably predictable ways, one of the first, if we could say that, benefits that you'll notice of this practice is that you can actually pause and kind of go, oh, hang on a minute, what do I need to react in that way, or can I respond? And so the more we meditate, you build up this deposit of energy, and so that then when life throws you these challenging situations, which is, you know, pretty much most days or weeks, you can tap into this adaptive energy store.
It's important, and this is quite Vedic as well, and Ayurvedic, that we have good food to nourish our bodies, and really good spiritual practice to nourish our soul. You know, because we focus a lot on nourishing our stomachs, but our soul is so important as well.
We're whole beings, and that's the beautiful thing that I'm realizing. I think even we touched on this morning, that it's like, oh, well, you know, I used to be like, well, that's my spiritual practice over there. I do that then. I do that between 5 and 7 and maybe in the afternoon. But actually where I'm sort of coming is that actually it's all integrated, and that everything can be done in this mindful way, this connected way.
That's beautiful.
And it's not, there's no separation. So even in my own kind of corporate and academic career, I've realized all I've been doing the whole time from, you know, nearly 25 years ago when I first started looking at sustainability in corporations is bringing that conscious awareness, bringing that, dare I say, divine connection to realizing that people just need to treat each other kindly, humanely, and protect our beautiful planet. And that's pretty much what I do teach my meditation students, but also corporate clients, as university students. And it's just all actually the one kind of journey that I've been on. And so it's really nice to come to that after, because, you know, it seems people are like, oh, what? You're an academic at the business school and you have consulting clients on climate change and sustainability. But it's really just, you know, raising that consciousness, raising that awareness that we've been very siloed into this kind of mindset of just making profit, and we'll do it in such a way that will then cause harm to others and cause harm to the planet. And it's so simple.
It is.
It's super simple.
I want to ask you actually, because I love this idea of the integrated life that you were talking about. What would be your top tips for the women listening on how they could live a more integrated life?
I think honoring themselves is number one, like realizing that if you don't look after you, self-care, wellness, as you know, like this beautiful podcast, you need to honor yourself, and it's not selfish, you know, looking after yourself. I look after myself so that I can be the absolute best for my children, my husband, family, friends, colleagues, students, and my community. I mean, it's, you know, part of the practice is when you realize that you are that bliss and that bliss reserve is right there within you. You've just probably laid up a lot of conditioning and education and values and societal expectations. Once you start to kind of unpack all of that and unlearn all that, you realize that you can give a lot, and that, you know, you can just be of service. And so that being of service is and I think it's such an innate quality in women as well. So absolutely top tip would be look after yourself, self-care, and that could come in the form of, you know, meditation, looking after your mental health, obviously looking after your physical health eating the right foods, exercising, all the things we know. And I'm so glad it's now commonplace, these types of ideas, just to look after yourself. And once you're healthy and well, then it's much easier then to give to your family, your friends, your community. It might be a small collective. Maybe it's, you're on the world stage, whatever it is. That's being able to give service is really, it's so fulfilling. And it's so, humans, one of my beautiful teachers in India, Sri Shakti Amma, humans are the only species that can help others. This is a remarkable quality. So to be gifted a human life is such a gift. And so we shouldn't take it for granted. Yeah.
And time in nature.
Just time in nature.
We did this morning.
Just appreciating and gratitude. I know, again, that's sort of everyone's talking about gratitude, but really, actually, I didn't mention the first thing I do when I wake up is I have thoughts of gratitude. So it's the most beautiful thing to do upon waking. So even before I get up and brush the teeth and all of that, it's actually, what am I grateful for? And, it's usually the same things. My beautiful children, my family, the beautiful, we're very, very privileged to live where we live. We live quite close together.
Literally 5 minutes from each other, aren't we?
In the beautiful northern beaches. So these things, we've all heard it before, but actually putting it into practice and coming to that practice in a kind of ritualistic kind of way, rather than it being another thing to do, then it becomes second nature. So you don't, we don't think, should I brush my teeth today? Should I go to bed? All of those things. It's just, we know that that's good for us. So really looking after ourselves so that then we can give to others. It's just,
Actually, I remember when you were running a rounding retreat, and there was just a lovely bunch of women there. And so we did our rounding, and then you made us this delicious food. What was that dish? I mean, that to me would be a form of self-nourishment. That was you giving to us, wasn't it? Because you didn't have to cook for us.
No, I love that. And so I guess for people, rounding is an advanced practice. Once you learn Vedic meditation, rounding is this incredible supercharged kind of stress release, like what you get out of doing a few rounds, you'll get out of, several meditation sessions. So just quickly, it's doing some asana, some yoga postures for say 10 to 15 minutes, a shavasana, and then doing some pranayama, some breath work for 3 to 5 minutes, and then meditating for 20 to 30 minutes, and then resting for 10 minutes. So that is an absolute beautiful practice.
So if you're a bliss addict,
you should do more rounding. It's very good for you. So that you're talking about our beautiful, that beautiful immersion that we had. I believe it was Navaratri. I think we're observing Navaratri. We're just at the end of Navaratri.
Yeah.
And I did a khichdi, and it was a grain-free khichdi.
That's right.
So khichdi is traditionally made with basmati rice and mung dal. But instead of the rice, I used buckwheat.
That's right.
Yes. So it was really beautiful. And I use ghee in my cooking, and then beautiful spice. So, and I won't go into that. I mean, I can put the recipe.
That's part of it as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's the self-care coming
feeding
through.
The soul, feeding, just that's, I love, when I do events, I love to feed my students. For group meditations, I always have little sweet treats, whether it's handmade chocolates or bliss balls. So I'm really excited that we're going to start, more regular in-person group meditations.
I can't wait. So actually tell us all about because you have a course coming up soon, don't you? What is it like to do the Vedic meditation course?
Sure. So the course, it's taught over 4 sessions. And the first session is really beautiful. Students bring their fruit and flowers. We have this gorgeous ceremony, which is really honoring the tradition. I didn't invent this meditation. I am just a vessel passing on the knowledge, and so grateful to be able to gift this and do this work. And so there's that beautiful ceremony. And then we offer the fruit and flowers, and we really just experience the meditation. So you get given your personal mantra. So each student, if it's a group course, that's done in a private room, so no one can hear the mantra, because that becomes your very special sacred sound that you practice with. And then really, that first session is just about the experience with your mantra, and people can feel that bliss in that very first session. So that's lovely. And then you go away, you have some homework, which is you go and meditate in the morning by yourself. Then you come back to the studio, and the first knowledge session is about the practical part of meditating. It's about the tradition, where did it come from? It's about these mantras and the technique and how it's different to other types of meditation techniques. And as I said before, it's very much honed for the Western householder life. We workshop how you fit it in, because we know one of the big challenges for people is, how am I going to fit this in? I'm so busy. So I personally work with you on that. So that's the second session. Then you go home again, meditate on your own, come back, and each day we're meditating together as well and sharing experiences and what that kind of looks like and why it was different yesterday to today, or all of those sorts of things we talk through. And then the third session is probably, I always say my favorite, but then they're all my favorite, but that's where we really explore that mind-body connection, the thoughts and the stress release, and, look at what's actually happening with the mantra, and how the mantra, which man means mind, tra means vehicle, so how it's that vehicle that's unlocking those stresses in the nervous system and allowing you to transcend beyond that kind of superficial thought layer of your thinking mind. So that's a beautiful, beautiful session, and very eye-opening, I think, and heart-opening, shall we say, for everyone. And then again, go home, meditate on your own. And then the fourth and final session is when students graduate. And that's really about what to expect with the eyes open. So, we're not meditating to be great meditators. We're actually meditating to be great at life. And so, as we said earlier, the meditation is really just that process, allowing and facilitating the process for stress to remove itself from your physiology, from your nervous system. And so, the eyes open, we talk briefly about different states of consciousness and what to expect, in your interactions. And then you graduate, and, essentially you can go away and you're a self-sufficient meditator. When you have that beautiful ceremony, receive your mantra in that correct way and have the 4 sessions, you're pretty much self-sufficient. But of course, it's challenging to keep up the twice daily practice. And so then I have a lot of ways that I continue to support my students, whether it's through group meditation meetings. We're doing those online on Tuesday nights, first Tuesday, or now I'm starting up the Sunday ones again, which is really exciting, the 4th Sunday of every month.
And that's in person with you?
In person and online, both. Everything's
Beautiful.
Always the option online. So people from anywhere in Sydney, Australia, the world can join. And I've had incredible people join my group meditations, and also in person in Newport, which is really exciting. There was a big calling for that. I was inundated with requests for in-person group meditation at the start of this year. So that's wonderful to be able to bring those back. We have a private WhatsApp group, as you know. In the first year, you get weekly emails, just tips and reminders. Second year, it's about every 2 to 3 weeks. There's master classes, advanced techniques. I'm very much about keeping my students meditating, so do a lot in terms of that kind of service, what we call savor, that selfless service, just because I don't want people to learn and then not practice.
Yeah, I love that about you, because there's always ways that you're keeping it alive. And when you do the Navratri, that group last year was so beautiful, the springtime Navratri. So for my listeners, just know that Anna creates a very inclusive, comfortable, safe space. And having the 4 days, which is part of the structure, isn't it? This is a set structure. So you're teaching it the way that it was designed to be taught, yes? So you have these 4 days, and it really helps you to consolidate. It's not like you're just rocking up for a one-day workshop. This feels like you're developing a practice. So Absolutely. Then by the fourth day, you're ready. Yes, absolutely ready to go and meditate.
The other thing I do is a 21-day meditation connection. So that's when you first learn with me, you volunteer yourself to meditate every day for 21 days or twice a day. And so I do a little support WhatsApp group. It's very low tech. But the other great thing is all of my students can join in if they've, life gets a bit busy, all of that. They love, and it's so nice when old faces pop up in the WhatsApp group and they come and join that. So yeah, always just here for support and supporting the practice.
I would love to know what brought you to Vedic meditation. I mean, tell me your story. When did you start to learn about it and get interested?
Yeah, right. I'll try to do the abridged version. So I've always loved and been fascinated with yoga asana, yoga postures. And so I started that as a teen. And I think that started to open me up to the world of, just connecting with the inner world, with my inner world. And then it was really when I went to university, did my undergrad. At the same time, I became a mum, quite young, very young. And I was doing uni and then, thinking about my corporate career and all these things. And I found my mind was just, so busy. And so I, did a Vipassana course actually at the university.
Oh,
and
wow.
Yes,
okay.
yes. So, and look, probably like most people when they start out, it was a bit haphazard, the practice, and did lots of different, did some beautiful Satyananda courses, always kept up the yoga, what we call in the West yoga, yoga, the physical postures. And then, I'm not sure. Oh, actually, I do know. There was, I had quite a significant kind of health breakdown, mental health breakdown.
Mm-hmm.
Had some very big stressful events in my life. That's where I decided, look, I want to do meditation daily. And so, I did kind of my own yogic inspired. I was reading the Patanjali Sutras every day, and I was just making sure I sat for 20 minutes every day. And I did that very diligently for 5 years. And so then there came, and was having beautiful experiences, but I'd say it was more what we kind of describe as the contemplative relaxation style of meditation. There was just a time that came and I was like, oh, I'm ready to take this deeper. And then I heard about Vedic meditation and heard some great teachers speak about it, and then went to my first intro talk and just was completely convinced and, loved everything I was hearing, and then signed up for the course like that week. So I went to the intro talk on the Monday and then did the 4-day course the following week. So I was really ready. I was ready for that. Being a new mum, it was just the most incredible tool for the fatigue. I don't think we've talked enough about that.
We haven't. No, we need to talk about all of those benefits.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So, and the other thing I love about this technique is it's very relaxed and flexible. You don't need to be on a mountain with bells chiming. You can be anywhere. As I said, I get up in the morning, I'm in my bed. When you're a new mum, there's exceptions for mothers programs. So I have a lot of mums and a lot of, new mums that I teach. And also noise is no barrier. So the mantra is more resonant for you. So you can meditate in front of the TV. And so when my little girl was, growing up and we were watching Peppa Pig and Play School, I was meditating in front of the TV while she was in my lap cuddling me, and I would be meditating, and there's all that noise going on. So anywhere you can close your eyes and think the mantra, you can meditate. So yes, the noise is there and the distractions are there, but we just keep gently coming back to that mantra, and you can have some very deep experiences. Yeah, for mums, I think that was probably part of the reason I became a teacher, is that it just helped me so much when I went back to my full-time job. As we all know, if we're mums, the sleep factor is challenging and tested. So I would be, being woken up at night, breastfeeding, all those things, and then having to get up and go to work. And so having that meditation session in the morning, and yes, it was all looking very messy and different to what it does now. That's taken some years now, and my little guy is now 6. So, you know, when he was born, he had gut health issues. So he was waking up 5 times a night. And it was the meditation that absolutely saved me. So I was able to, you know, not have very much sleep at all. Obviously, I'm not recommending don't have sleep because I love sleep. But it just made me function in the world, and I was able to go and deliver and do what I needed to do in the workplace, whilst also being a mum to little babies at the time, and now they've grown up, obviously.
I'm thinking also, you know, for someone with adrenal fatigue, where it's, you know, difficult to get up in the morning, would you say Vedic meditation would be similarly useful for these sorts of people? You know, I've had these feelings myself where it's suddenly getting harder to get up in the morning, where, you know, practice like this would give me more energy, it would help me to focus more clearly, feel better about what I'm doing.
Yep. So they say that, a 20-minute meditation is equivalent to 2 to 3 hours sleep in terms of the rest on the physical body. So it's not replacing sleep, because we know that sleep kind of, you know, performs a lot of incredible functions.
We do need more sleep though.
We need more sleep.
Yes.
We need more sleep. But I think particularly like coming from that experience of, you know, being a new mum or being a mum of very young babies, that rested feeling was so important. 25,000 years ago, we can go back there, you know, we were cave men and women, and we were, you know, fighting for survival most of the time. We had saber-toothed tigers or whatever was going on in the cave days. So we have this incredible mechanism, fight or flight mechanism, which is our sympathetic nervous system, and it's where the adrenaline, cortisol happens. So if you're a caveman or woman back in 25,000 years ago and there is a threat, there's an imminent threat, there's a saber-toothed tiger coming to take your family, you know, you have this choice to quickly fight or flee or flight. And so what happens is the body, all the functions start to tap into that kind of response, that fight or flight response. So, you know, the pupils dilate, the digestion shuts down, and, you know, you probably know.
Yes, blood pumps to the heart.
Exactly.
Yep,
all of these kind of, I guess, symptoms of switching into fight or flight. So fast forward to 2024, and what's happening is we are in traffic getting a bill.
Or we see a cockroach in the corner of the room.
We see a cockroach in the corner of the room. And we're like, oh my God, fight or flight, crazy. Or, you know, like someone cutting you off in traffic and you just get so frustrated, or you're in a hurry, you know, you're hurrying. I always talk about my coffee barista in my corporate days and how, you know, I'd be trying to get to work and then they'd stop and have a chat with the person next to them working, and I'd be like, come on, hurry up, you know, I've got to get to work. And what we're doing is we're layering that stress into the nervous system. So even small demands, but it's just constantly happening. And that's why now people, you know, fly off the handle over really inconsequential matters. Like, you know, I say to my children, is this a big problem or a small problem? Is this really...
I like that.
Like, you know, yes, yeah. We're not saying we can't feel our feelings. We're getting very good at that in this society. But are they commensurate with the reaction or the response that we're having? When we sit to meditate, we're going into the parasympathetic nervous system. We're relaxing, we're letting go. I mean, I haven't even spoken about the beautiful aspect of letting go, which really is the goal of the whole practice, is just letting go. We're flooding the nervous system with the bliss chemicals. So,
which would be so good for anybody who's got that cortisol pumping away. And the way I see it is it's a vigilance. It's like an alertness that we don't need. And it's
that
putting
high alert.
everything on hold in the body. So the healing and the restoration and the rest and reflection, that just doesn't happen because we're so concerned. Our body is so concerned and wired.
Yeah, we're on high alert, and then we wonder why can't we sleep? Because we can't relax. We don't know how to relax. We don't know how to just let go and be. We're
And
so wound up.
Big part of it, isn't it? That effortlessness with Vedic meditation.
Absolutely.
You learn how to be effortless.
And you be effortless in the practice. So we're effortless with the mantra. So we're not chanting. We're not banging a drum. We're just gently, effortlessly repeating it inside our mind and allowing and letting go. I mean, really, as I said just earlier, it is about learning how to just let go, how to unwind, how to relax, and to just be in that state of being, that state of bliss.
So I guess, listeners, you're probably getting a sense of what it's like to be in Anna's studio doing meditation. Okay, so let's tell everybody when and where they can learn this beautiful technique. So have you got some courses coming up that you could offer, introductory talks? Tell me what you've got on the menu.
Yes, so I run introductory talks, and so they're just online for 45 minutes. I run those, a couple of times before an upcoming course. Also, I can do a discovery call at any time that suits somebody. Usually in 20 minutes, we can really get to the bottom and get to the heart of what's going to happen. Listening to this will really help people with that. I then run the 4-session courses. So the sessions, they must be sat, in that consecutive time, the 4 days consecutively. And as you said, this is how it was taught traditionally several decades ago. It's taught as Maharishi intended it to be taught, in this very precise framework. I run about 5 courses a year, and they're small. They're really beautiful. They're small and intimate, which is nice because, people come and there's a lot of sharing that goes on, and it's just, the start of coming into our community, which is such a beautiful community of like-hearted souls, as I say. They're the ways. And then, of course, group meditations, anybody is welcome, even if you're not one of my students. You can be a student of somebody else's VM or team, or you could not even have a practice. I really try to make meditation accessible, and I'm very inclusive.
Oh, that's such a great way for somebody who's, not sure what it's like, or if it's for them. They can come along, experience,
yeah,
and then make a decision after that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that your groups are just open for everybody. That's beautiful. And what about workshops, immersions, any of those on the Bliss menu?
So I just recently finished actually some beautiful community events. So we had these beautiful Vedic fire ceremonies happening in Newport, which were incredible, very, quite unique and rare, I hope. But, that was with beautiful teachers that came from India to help support that. And a meditation masterclass. So the masterclasses are something I do as well, which are a beautiful way for new and old students to come and just kind of, hear about this technique. They won't get their personal mantra. It's not the full 4 sessions. But again, I think people just want an experience of meditation. They just want to understand and, before perhaps diving in. Some students are ready just to dive into the full course, the 4-day course. Yeah, I'm not sure about plans for the immersions, but I'll let you know. After my next course, I'll do the 21-day meditation connection. So that's just that simple checking in twice a day.
So that will be March, April?
That's March.
21 day.
Yes,
okay.
Yep. That's after the course. So the next course, which you put in the show notes, the dates and
I'm going to put all the information in the notes, everybody. Also tell us, Anna, where can people find information about you?
Yeah, the best place, my website, annayoungferris.com. So www.annayoungferris.com. So that's ANNAYOUNG, F for Fred, ERRIS.com. Also Instagram, I am on there regularly. I'm not a daily poster by any means, but I try to definitely keep connected with my community there, and, share the events. You can reach out to me there. My handle is just @AnnaYoungFerris, and sign up to my database. I send maybe 2 emails a month. I really don't want to add to people's inboxes and demands. So really just try to keep it to the key core information. And then, come to a group meditation is also amazing, or come to the course. Love you to come to the course. And, I have a special offer, remember?
Really? Oh my gosh. Okay, tell us all about your special offer.
So for the beautiful Well Woman listener, just mention this podcast and I would love to give you $100 off one of my Vedic meditation courses.
That is so generous of you. Thank you. Thank you on behalf of all of my listeners, and definitely everybody. It's such a beautiful technique. I would really love this for you. So thank you, Anna. That is just beautiful.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're so welcome. It's been beautiful having you here. I want to thank you, Anna, for spending this time with me and making time in your busy schedule, which you've done so graciously, sharing the art of Vedic meditation, telling us your story, even gifting my listeners a discount on your next course. So that is fantastic. I'm going to put all the information in the notes, so you'll have links to Anna's website, Anna's socials. You'll have information on, where you can go to book. And I think with Anna, it's kind of simple, isn't it? People can just email you or send you a DM. There's nothing complex about signing up for a course. Well, Anna, thank you again.
Thank you. I love what you're doing. It's just beautiful to see this podcast and what you're sharing, giving to your community. It's just beautiful to see you blossoming.
And that was the part 2 of my interview with Vedic meditation teacher, Dr. Anna Young Ferris. I hope you enjoyed these couple of episodes. There's just so many benefits to meditation and so much connection and inner peace that it can bring to our lives. So wishing you a very mindful, self-healing and connected day. See you soon in another episode of Well Woman.
Hey everybody, please note that the information, opinion and advice provided in this podcast are not intended to replace professional medical care. They are for general information and educational purposes only. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast may not always be those of the host. Thanks for listening.